It is truly an honor to be addressing such a decorated crowd of students, faculty, staff, and alumni. And here at IMSA, we are touted as the best and the brightest, with resources all around us that make realizing our potential a reality. And along with that, we're constantly showered with reminders of our institution's unique purpose, its essential existence, and its extensive contributions to not only those attending, but to the communities around us as well. We are granted an environment that fosters learning, teaching, discovering, researching, in a tight-knit community that transcends the very concept of a friend. And while IMSA is a fantastic institution, there's no denying that there is substantial room for improvement, an improvement that inherently is involving all of you, not just the administrators. If you look around you, besides just our little IMSA bubble, the society's economic climate is evolving right before our eyes, with schools left and right facing deep budget cuts and facing difficulty getting the resources they need to build a foundation for the future of the nation, not just the community. And given that, coupled with a new leadership and new strategies, IMSA is potentially more vulnerable than ever before. And the pillars that uphold what we are may be cracked a bit deeper than what initially meets the eye. And however ominous that may seem, the reality is IMSA, a gold mine of opportunities, could not be shining any brighter with the opportunity facing us today. And after all, with weakness comes a chance for improvement, and with improvement comes the reality of greatness. So, considering that, this weakness should not involve, again, just the administrators, but inextricably makes all of you, each individually, responsible for giving back for all this institution has given you. And no matter how often we are enlightened by IMSA's faculty, stimulated by the one-of-a-kind research and development outlets, or enriched by our extracurriculars, or comforted by the unexplainable connection with our peers, somehow, some way, students end up tuning out after a certain time and treating IMSA just as another step along their life. And so with that, the first challenge I present all of you is to reflect and to synthesize why you decided to apply to IMSA in the first place. Now, this may be a distant memory for some and very recent for others, but in any case, oftentimes it ties back to you felt that you weren't being challenged enough. You felt that you were out of place. You felt that maybe you wanted to mature, grow independently, and become a bit more free. Or perhaps it's a mixture of multiple different explanations. Either way, IMSA's impact on you has been crucial, and there's no denying that. Now, my second challenge for all of you is to consider, just for a second, how your life might have been different had you not attended IMSA. And for the sophomores, consider how your life may have continued being had you not decided to attend IMSA. Again, through this exercise, I think it becomes astoundingly clear how crucial and how essential IMSA has been in all of our lives. Despite the complaints, despite the late nights for papers, despite the constant struggle to get a good amount of sleep, it's been undeniably important in all of our development. So with all of that in mind, one of the things I've discovered to be the most selfish and inconsiderate thing any student at IMSA can do is to take and take from the institution, to reap the benefits of all the opportunities provided to you, and then just sit inactively as we see IMSA's future and the future of those around us potentially not being as good as it once was for us. And for all of you thinking of those club leadership positions, or those extracurricular activities, or those grades that you've gotten, or that research experience, and then thinking to yourself, I'm a leader, I'm successful, I've done my part. Well, I'm here to tell you, you haven't done your part, and that isn't enough, and that does not make you successful, and that does not make you a leader. In fact, if you think about it, all of those things are exactly what you are expected to do as a member of this community. You are expected to take advantage of the clubs here. That's why they are chartered. You are expected to do well in the classroom. That's why you were admitted. You are expected to pursue research, independent learning opportunities. That's why we don't have classes on I days. and you are expected to connect with your peers beyond just the classroom. That is why we are a residential school. So doing any of that, taking advantage of those opportunities, however prestigious it may make you feel or however successful you may be in the college admissions process, that does not make you successful, and that is not enough. And if I remember correctly, the best and the brightest don't just meet expectations. So, you may be wondering, well then what exactly does make you a leader? I'm doing everything I can. I'm taking advantage of everything. My schedule is filled every day, and I never have a time to just relax. Well, maybe you're spending your time just a bit incorrectly. So, my final challenge, or set of challenges for all of you, is to illuminate those dark aspects of IMSA, to find a spot where there isn't something that you'd like there to be, and then create it, to create new opportunities that every single one of you can not only take advantage now, but then ensure that future IMSA students have just as good of an experience as all of you do, if not even better. And way too often, I see people getting frustrated, disappointed, and then deciding, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to be satisfied with what I've done, and I'm going to move forward. And way too often do we wonder, why has IMSA not addressed this issue? Why are things not as good as I wanted them to be, as I expected them to be? Well, the answer oftentimes, again, is very, very simple. Instead of using those frustrations and disappointments as reasons to give up, use them as fuel to ignite your passion, use them as fuel to ignite action, and use them as a basis to build an inspiration for yourself, for others, and for everyone that comes after you. And finally, it's time to move on from accepting mediocrity. It's time to never say that being dissatisfied or being just a little bit less better off than everyone else is okay. And it's time for you to find yourself in a position to act on all of those things that frustrate you daily. If the classes aren't structured properly, if the residential life isn't exciting enough, if your entire experience has not lived up to expectations, it is your responsibility to work towards addressing this issue. And it is your duty to envision the solutions and the greatness that may come from it before they even come to be. If not, well, then the problems will persist, and the complaints will continue to exist, damaging each and every experience we have with every passing day. And to wrap up, there are a few things I'd like to say to each of the classes individually. To the class of 2016, don't be afraid to make a mistake. It's much, much better now to go out there, take risks, falter, and then learn from what you've done so that you can use that lesson in every single year you have ahead of you. Ultimately, mistakes, they are inevitable, but what separates those who are great and those who succeed from those who fail and become afterthoughts is how you respond to the mistakes and how you build on them for every year you have ahead of you. And to the class of 2015, remain open-minded. The upcoming year will be difficult, and I'm sure you've all heard that, but throughout all of it, you're going to experience a lot more self-discovery than you ever thought. After all, some of the most beautiful things take an enormous amount of pressure to come into reality. And to the class of 2014, embrace your role as seniors. We've made it, and we've done a lot to get to this point. I want all of you to go out there and be open to giving advice, to be open to sharing wisdom, but at the same time, never be overbearing, because we don't want to force all of their experiences to be just the same as ours. We want to make sure that it's even better. And above all, make sure to savor this last year and make sure to take advantage of all the opportunities you haven't yet. If you feel like you've made a mistake, then it's your responsibility to go out there and find a way to correct it. If you feel like there's something that has been missing from your experience, then once again, go out there and create an opportunity where one has yet to exist. Every subsequent class will follow in your example. And if we really want anything to get better, and if we really want to give others the opportunity we had, if not a better one, then it's time to start setting an example, and it's time to start creating those opportunities where one never thought possible before. And finally, there is an old expression that goes, Rome wasn't built in one day. And it's supposed to signify how long and arduous the process is before building greatness, before truly achieving your potential. Well, I think it's important to note that while undoubtedly it will take a long time, Rome didn't have IMSA titans paving the way. And with that, I hope all of you have a wonderful year, and I hope all of you prepare yourself for the ride of a lifetime, never to be forgotten. Thank you.